Welcome to episode 73 of Tools in the Hall. After dark. Got a cool handgun to show you after we're done with the tools. And for tools, I've got cool stuff that I haven't shown you before because last week I had a bunch of special orders I had to fulfill. I took on 2 new shops and I'm very encouraged based on what I know of them and what my first impressions were. One is an equipment company that services the Tesla plant, which is a big facility, and they have multiple buildings. And while I was there, this fellow who was the foreman for that shop was pointing out other shops that I could probably visit along the way. They asked me to come to them, which is always nice because I would rather serve customers who want me to be there as opposed to ones that I kind of have to flush out and see if they want me there in the first place. So it was great to have that call. And then I got another call from another new shop that I kind of didn't know they were there. I drove by them a lot, but I really didn't pay much attention. Come to find, a guy that I knew from years ago got a job up there, and he was encouraging the guys to call me, and he sure enough did. So I'm going to that new shop too. So I got some special orders for both of those shops, plus my regular customers. So it's going to be a nice, busy week coming up, and I get to show you all the cool stuff in this tool haul. First up, Gearwrench has this 13-piece set of Torx bit sockets. This goes from T8 to T60. Lots of different companies have this regular press bit Torx socket. Mayhew has them. I think SK has them. Lisle has a similar type. Gray Pneumatic and all these other companies have similar Torx sockets. I go for the Gearwrench ones simply because price, availability, and warranty. They put a lifetime warranty on all of them. They're readily available. They're not usually on back order, and the price is really good on these. So this is one that's going to a good customer of mine who also gets a lot of shop equipment from me. So I'm too happy to help him out with these. And it's a solid set. Yeah, you're going to break the smaller ones. You always do. But I keep all the individual ones on the truck for when they do break. Just swap them right out. Makes it very easy. For some reason, I haven't really carried many of these before, and this is the set of Extractors from Irwin Hansen. Kind of tough to see, but I will show you the individual ones there. Focus. There you go. They have a hex bolster, no square drive on them, just a hex bolster for your wrench or a socket, and the spiral fluting. This is the 25-piece set. It runs 1/8 of an inch through 7/8 of an inch. Most of your common sizes in there. Everything's covered with lifetime warranty on that. And I was tipped off by a buddy of mine who works at Capital Metro, and he said that they got a bunch of new guys coming in, and between that and some work that was being done in one corner of the shop, they're having some trouble with some drain plug. So they said they might need some extractors because those things are getting jammed in there for some reason or another. So I was tipped off that maybe this would be a really good opportunity to sell some of these to the guys there. And I'm all over that kind of thing because something very fortuitous for me has happened there, competition-wise. They haven't got a Matt guy on the regular basis. I think it's been months since he's been there. The Matco guy got him some financial trouble, and he very quickly made a lot of enemies there, so he's not coming back. The Snap-on guy went under, and Snap-on is filling the route with a corporate guy, but he's not too happy, I think, with how things are going, so he's kind of struggling there. And Cornwall comes, I think, for one shift a week, and they're a 3-shift per day shop. So I'm there like 3 or 4 times a week. So I really have to take to heart what the guys there need, because there's over 120 technicians. So I'd be dumb to not dedicate as much time as they need me to be there. And when someone tells me, hey, the guys doing inspections might need these, I'm going to get them, and I'll offer them up to those guys. And it's just a way to lubricate some sales, get some conversations going with those fellas, and see if I can increase, my throughput there, which is already very good, but there's always opportunities, and I don't necessarily know what they are unless somebody tips me off. So part of the reason why you're successful in this business as a tool guy is by maintaining these really good relationships with people who are going to give you this information. So thanks to Mark there, who's given me a little tip off there, and I'm happy to show the guys this set of extractors and see if I can make some more sales. You just saw me with the master version of this, but this is the basic version of the Relay Buddy from ESI. It's an automotive relay tester. You plug the relays into the base unit after you apply 12-volt power from the car battery. It cycles through 10 different test cycles for the most common types of relays and gives you red light, green light, good or bad. Very handy and quick to troubleshoot relays, and I forget why somebody wanted this one specifically. I think you need it for home, for some side work that he's doing. And the one he has in the shop is a bigger version of this. I just sold a master version of this that does 12 and 24 volts to a friend of mine and good customer, Sammy Salinas, who you've heard me mention his name a million times on this channel because it always seems like there's stuff coming in for him, or I've got something interesting related to him. So this one goes for a different customer, and he'll get that this week. From OTC, this is the 3 1/8 inch lock nut socket with a 3/4 inch square drive hole. This is a warranty replacement for one that had the square drive wallowed out. The mainline ratchets that I sell are the ones from Gearwrench. I also sell lots of different brands, Easy Red, SK, Milwaukee's got some really good ratchets too that are very nicely priced. I might wind up putting some more Milwaukee ones on the truck, but for price, for quality, for ease of warranty replacement, I love Gearwrench. This is their 3/8 drive flex head 120 XP mechanism. And the 120 XP means there's 120 tooth positions on a 60 tooth gear because there's a dual pawl in the head, and each pawl is offset by the width of half a tooth. So there's 120 engagements on the main gear. So it's very strong. I don't know that I've really ever replaced any of the guts under warranty on these, which surprises me. I've got a ton of warranty kits out there already just in case, but I've never really seen the warranty claims on these, so I have on the 84 tooth, which is the older version of those ratchets, and they've been discontinued. But this one is the one that I go to, and their 90 tooth ones are also very popular. I don't think I've done too many of those under warranty either, if any at all, now that I think about it. They're great quality, and you can stack these side by side anyone else's ratchets on the market, and you will find that these rise to the top and compete very favorably for a fraction of the cost of the Snap-on and Matco ones. And the 120 XP ones are extremely smooth. And because they're 120 positions, you have a 3-degree arc swing, so you can fit these in tighter spaces better than you could the older 84 tooth design. Speaking of Milwaukee, I've got their Inksol paint pens. I didn't used to carry these. I used to carry ones from Uline, very good quality, never a problem. But these are a much nicer pen. The body's really nice on these. I like the fact that it's got a pocket clip on the cap. You depress that tip to get the paint running. This is the white color as indicated by the cap, and I have these in yellow as well. They also make them in a bunch of different colors. I stock the yellow and the white regularly, and I had run out of paint pens, and someone remarked on that, and I didn't realize it. So I went and I looked to place a new order and realized that these are now in stock and readily available at my distributor. So I decided, let's go with the Milwaukee ones. Pricing's a little bit better than the Uline ones, believe it or not. And I just like Milwaukee's quality on anything. So if I can gravitate toward Milwaukee on something, I'm going to do that until these guys prove otherwise. I'm a Milwaukee fan, and I'm glad that they have expanded their line to things like paint pens, because it's just another way to keep their name on the truck at the forefront of people's minds, in their hand, in their toolbox. I'm such a big fan of Milwaukee anyway that I'm only too happy to also put their paint pens in stock now. In addition to being a big fan of Milwaukee, I'm also a big fan of Coast, because they have some of the best value in lights that I have ever seen. Compare any Coast light to a Streamlight brand light, and I think you'll find Coast has a better value. They cost about half the price for a similarly spec'd Streamlight light, and they have 2 patents. One's for a focusing beam, you slide that barrel in and out. On their headlamps, you turn a bezel, and they all operate, well, mostly all of them operate on dual power, where you can plug them in to recharge the power pack that comes with it, or you can put in this case, it's the CR123 lithium batteries. Some take alkaline batteries. And the best part of all about their lifetime warranty is a warranty fulfillment process. I can just give you a new one and you hand me the old one, and that's it. With Streamlight, we have to send Streamlight in to Streamlight themselves, and they'll fix or repair it. And that costs money for shipping, and it costs time. So it's easier and cheaper in the long run to go with Coast. So I put this on the truck all the time. If someone wants a Streamlight Stinger or a Stryon, I can order them. But usually when people ask about the differences between the 2 brands, and I tell them, they go with Coast every time. I've been taking fewer and fewer orders for the click-type torque wrenches in favor of the digital ones, but Gearwrench has excellent offerings in both. And this is the 1/2-inch drive click-type torque wrench from Gearwrench. Something very interesting has been happening to the torque wrenches. And when I was doing my flyer drop video just a few weeks ago, I noticed in the flyer, under the product listings for these torque wrenches, it said that they have a lifetime warranty. I had never known a torque wrench to have anything but a 1-year warranty on any brand. So I hopped on my distributor's website and looked up the part numbers, and they tell me what the warranties are, and they also listed a lifetime warranty. So I double-checked this information, but still wasn't convinced. So I emailed my distributor rep about this, and he was confused too. He said he'd have to look at it and get back to me. I haven't heard from him yet. But here's what they say on the package: a lifetime warranty on the ratchet heads. So I don't know if the lifetime warranty they're advertising in the flyer is limited to just a ratchet head, because it didn't say it was. It just said lifetime warranty. And the same thing when I look on my distributor's website, it says the same thing. So there's some question here, only because I'm doubting it. Not that I have any information that tell me otherwise, but we know at least that the ratchet heads are covered under a lifetime warranty, but things like the torque adjustment and the mechanism inside may or may not be. Even though I've been told twice now that it is, I still need to triple check this one. So stay tuned for more information on that, because once I know, I'll be sure to update you. So this goes to a new customer at one of the new shops I was telling you about. And as he's looking through the catalog, one of the greatest things about being an independent tool truck is pulling into a shop for the first time, handing guys my flyer, and having them flip through it, and they can see the brands and the pricing. And they're usually pretty impressed with what they see. They simply aren't used to getting on a tool truck and paying the prices that I've got my goods at, because they're used to paying, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times as much on the Snap-on and Mako trucks. They're not used to the breadth and availability that they see on that they don't see on the Mack and the Cornwell trucks. So it's great being an independent guy in this business, because you're able to nail this sweet spot of availability and price. And a lot of the brands are brands people know. If they don't know what the brand is, or they haven't heard of it, I can give them some information on it to try to help them make a purchasing decision wherever they want to go. And one of the best parts about this is it really doesn't bother me if somebody doesn't buy something from me. I don't have these minimums I have to hit every week like the franchise truck guys do. They have to sell so much every week and collect so much every week for them to break even. And some of that's pretty high. Like one Snap-on guy I know said that his minimum to cover his costs is $12,000 a week in sales. And that's rather high. So what do you do, when Wednesday night rolls around and you're going home and you realize, man, I only sold $7,000 this week. I got to sell $5,000 more worth of stuff. So you start scrambling. You start putting pressure on people, because there's a lot of pressure on you. And I don't have that pressure on me. Like, I don't have those quotas or minimums or anything. I just got to make sure I pay my monthly tool bill, and I do. So I like being able to talk to people about brand choices and stuff. And I can even tell them too, if there's something I don't have that I know Snap-on has, for example, I can say, man, your best bet's a Snap-on. Tool carts are a good example. The 6-drawer tool cart at Harbor Freight's the best value going on tool carts. Well, that means I'm not selling tool carts, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather they go get something that's a value for their money and they'd be happy with than get something from me and potentially be unhappy. And I'd like to think that giving them an honest opinion on where the best purchase options are for them, if it's not with me, means something to them. And I hope to build some trust. And it usually works out in my favor, and people do generally put some faith in that. So it's the only way I want to do business. So for torque wrenches, I said to the guy, look, I said, I got a lot of different brands available to me. There's K-Tool and AC Delco. Sunex has some available, but I'm not familiar with those brands, and I can't tell you what the quality are. I said, Gearwrench I can vouch for. I sell a ton of these things. They're very good, and I could tell them all about how easy it would be to take them under warranty if we had to. I also told them that Precision Instruments are excellent torque wrenches, a little bit pricier, but the quality is also outstanding, and I sold a bunch of Precision Instruments. But really, for the torque wrenches, it's Gearwrench all the way for me. Great value. You get a lot for your money, and this is the half-inch one that goes, I forgot to tell you the specs on this, didn't I? Yeah. 25 to 250 foot-pounds. Am I lying? Sorry, 30 to 250 foot-pounds on the half-inch drive. Their 3/8 drive goes 10 to 100, and then their quarter drive is measured in inch-pounds. So nice packaging on this one, too. It's a nice protective plastic case that they put this in. Very attractive packaging. Years ago, they didn't used to have packaging this good, and people didn't buy them that much because they just weren't popping out at them when they saw them on the shelves. This one, they stand out. Guys ask for them now, and I'm very happy to be able to sell this, especially to a brand new customer. So I had a guy get on the truck last Monday, and he said to me, I left my truck tire step on the wheel of the truck as I drove away. And ruined it. Can you get me one? I said, sure. And he said, can you tell me if it'll cost less than the $500 that Matco's charging for theirs? And I said, I guess so. I said, does it look like this? I showed him a picture in the catalog, and he said, yep, that's the one. I said, okay. How's $145 sound? He said, get it. So this truck tire step, that bracket goes over the top of the tire, and this step then hangs down about halfway up the wheel, and you can stand on that to gain access to the engine. He works on trash trucks, so everything he works on is high up. And this is going to make his life a whole lot easier. Nice and stable. And it's sure-footed because it has some aggressive texturing on the step. Restocking my quarter drive ratchets. This is another 120 XP offering from Gearwrench. The shorter handled quarter drive, non-flex head version. All the same features as the 3/8 one that I showed you, except for the flex head. Same lifetime warranty, same durability, same premium quality. From Astro Pneumatic, these are the 3/8 drive and half-inch drive Nano sockets. These guys are stubby, so they save you a ton of room when you're trying to get in tight spaces. They have a hex bolster on the bottom for a wrench or a socket, and they have a square drive hole. So 3/8 on these guys, half-inch on this one, so you can use your ratchet. They're impact rated. Use a breaker bar. Go nuts. Astro does have a wrench that is made specifically for these, but the thing's been on back order forever. But as soon as they get one of those wrenches in, I anticipate selling a bunch of them with these sets. It'll be a really good upsell opportunity and good to bundle them together. You know, I could do like a, you know, put a special price on buy the 3/8, the half-inch, and the wrench for, you know, one price or something like that. And these are popular sellers because they really fill a niche in the market that a lot of other manufacturers don't have, and the price on these is stupid good. I think the half-inch one is just over $100, and this one's like $70 or something. They're inexpensive, but they're very high quality, and I like Astro for a lot of reasons. It's just important to know about their warranties before you look at any of their products, because they don't necessarily carry the lifetime warranties that you're expecting on a tool like this. But the good news is with these do carry lifetime warranties. I know some of their chrome sockets don't, so I don't normally carry the chrome sockets, but I always have these on the truck. I love Astro for a lot of things. Their air blowers are great. They're blowguns. I sell a lot of their quick lock die grinders. That's in their Onyx brand. I'm a big fan of a lot of their stuff for a lot of reasons. They put a lot of thought into their engineering and design work, and I think the reliability is very, very good. For guys that know the brand, they love them. Other guys might have to be introduced to them if they haven't had, an independent tool truck like mine, or maybe the Cornwell or Mako guy is putting some Astro stuff on their trucks. But you don't generally find it on the Snap-on and Mack trucks unless those guys are breaking the rules with their franchise agreement, and they might, to be a little more competitive. But normally, the Astro brand is one that I have to introduce guys to, or they'll ask me about it when they see something on the shelf, particularly that die grinder or these Nano sockets. What time is it? Hammer time! These are the ones from Milwaukee, which I love, and you've seen me show these to you before on the channel, usually one at a time, but I had to reorder 3. I usually keep one of each. I have a 4th one that's still currently on the truck in my inventory, so I had to reorder these. This is the 28 ounce soft face hammer, the 32 ounce hard faced ball peen hammer, and the 48 ounce soft faced hammer. All have the same features. They've got a square top, so you can set these things right down on the surface and they don't tip over. You can read the size on the handle as it's facing up, so if you're looking down on it, you can tell which hammer it is. They've got a loop in the handle for a lanyard for hanging, or for a wrist strap if you're doing any kind of altitude work, and a wonderful handle that will not slip. This thing you get a firm grip with, and they put a lifetime warranty on them. The pricing is way less than the Snap-on hammers, and the quality seems to be every bit as good or better than the Snap-on ones. I've never seen a problem with these, and I've sold a lot of these since they came out with them. They've been my exclusive hammer. If somebody wants something like a Wilton Bash hammer, I can get them. But for most people's uses, a hammer like this or like this pretty much fits the bill. Unless you have a specialty need, because Wilton does make a lot of different types of hammer heads. Milwaukee is very limited to offering just these 4 in this type of hammer. But it's all we really need. And people are very happy with the offering. A guy came on the truck last week, and he said, "What do you have for a kneeling mat?" He goes, "I got a small one like this, but I'm looking for something bigger." And I showed him the one I had from K-Tool, which was, I forget what the dimensions, like 30 by 18 or something. He said, "I need something bigger than that still." So we go to the catalog, and then I realized, because I haven't sold one of these in a long time, I said, "Hey, how about one of these?" It's from Lisle. It's a Jeepers Creeper. They call it I think their folding creeper or something. I forget how they market it, but you can make it, really thick and that small if you want, or in half, or unfold it the whole way like I showed you. And it's terrific because it's so highly portable. You can fold it right up and stash it in your truck if you're a mobile technician. And my customer said that he was getting one for his son, who I think just became a mobile tech and needs something like that. So when I showed him that, he goes, "Oh man, that'd be perfect." So I'm glad when I can help somebody find exactly the right product for their needs. And when you see somebody's face light up because that's the thing I want, they kind of resonates with them. I really like that. I get a good feeling when I'm able to be valuable like that to somebody. And it's kind of what keeps you going in this business, when you know that you can be valuable, because my whole goal is to be useful. If I'm not useful, people don't need me and they won't buy anything from me, because there's plenty of places people can get tools, and I know that. So I have to be there with information. I have to give them really good service. And if that means that I help them out with something that they didn't buy from me, I will do that, because that's the name of the game here. If you can't help people out in this business, they will very quickly be done with you. And if you're a professional technician, I know I'm preaching to the choir. You guys know that better than anyone. All right, now it's time for Tool Haul After Dark. This is from Springfield Armory. This is their Echelon. We're clear. This is their 9mm? Yes. 9mm full frame handgun with a wonderful stippled grip on it. All aspects of the grip are stippled. It even has stippling up here for where you're resting your trigger finger. It even has stippling under the trigger guard, and I'm not quite sure why, because the only part of your hand that touches that is your weak hand finger, and I don't know why they would do that, but they put it there. And they have the stippling on the front of the combat trigger guard. Usually you'll see serrations on that, but they put the nice stippling on there, so you get a nice firm grip. Serrations in the back for racking the slide and in the front, because some guys do like racking the slide from the front. I never got into that habit myself, but some guys prefer to do it that way, and I have the choice. Easy sights to acquire. It's a regular 3-dot sight. Lightweight. It's got a Picatinny rail on the front, so you can mount a light and or a laser sight on that. It comes with two 17-round magazines. A loader assist, which is wonderful. Once you use one of these, you'll never not want to use one again. This one has a cool thumb groove in it too. So you just push down on the follower, load a round in, and then keep pushing down and keep loading rounds in. That way you don't have to push down with your thumb and feed it in. These things are lifesavers at the range. You can adjust the grip size by adding different back straps depending on how far away you want your finger from the trigger. And it comes with a magazine extension too. So one of the magazines has it already, the other one does not. So you can put it on there if you wanted to. And when you do that, you can see it kind of sticks out from the bottom a little bit. Nice gun. I'm a big fan of Springfield for a lot of reasons. You get, I think, more for your money with Springfield. They have these really nice kits, and even their smaller offerings like this non-kit version still comes with a couple of magazines, back straps, loader assistant, and there's a lot to be said for their quality and the amount of money that you're going to pay for a Springfield relative to, say, something like a Glock or a SIG, which are all wonderful brands. I love them a lot. You'll never hear me say anything bad about them because I don't think they really let anyone down. There are some preferential differences that you'll find with some guns, but with Springfield, they get a lot of things right. For example, this angle right here for your strong hand, non-trigger finger is very comfortable. The grip is not too large, and it sits beautifully in the web of your hand. So you're going to find your sweet spot immediately without fumbling around. I will admit on the Glocks, sometimes they don't set quite right in my hand, and I find myself moving them a little bit out of the web of my hand so I get a comfortable position with my trigger finger, which I'm not too keen on, but these really do fit nice. It's hard to carry this gun to conceal it because it's such a large frame gun. But if you can, go right ahead. Great to take to the range. Great for keeping at home for defensive purposes if you needed to. And I'm a big fan. We've got all kinds of stuff coming down the line, so I want you to keep watching the channel. If you're a fan of the air tool repair videos, I've got a 1-inch Ingersoll Rand impact that I'm fixing. You may have already seen the video on that. I'm also putting a video up for a 3/4 drive Mako air impact, a 1/2-inch Chicago pneumatic impact, which has a really funny problem that I think you're going to get a kick out of. I'm also giving a once-over on an Ingersoll 2235 Ti Max, because it has a new problem that I've never seen before, so I'm struggling to kind of figure that one out. Of course, we have more tools in the haul videos. We always have some After Dark stuff to show you the latest in firearms. And every quarter, we have our flyer drop video, so check out the last one if you haven't seen it already. So do me a favor. Click down here now to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, use a tool. Don't be one.